Hey guys, what's up? We got something really cool. We got a big old freaking rail. I am more pumped about this, really, than a lot of other things that I have been in a while, so let's talk about this thing. Okay, so if you've been following me for very long, you've probably seen this guy, right? My CZ Scorpion. I did a PCC comparison video between an AR9, the CZ Scorpion, and MP5. And this gun was fun. A lot of people really liked this gun. I really like this gun. This is actually one of the firearms I use as a bedside gun or a home defense gun, whatever. Like, this actually is a working firearm, right? I use it. It's not just a toy. As such, I'm very particular about the things that I put on the firearm, right? It's a pistol, so it's got a brace. I need a brace. It has the factory sights, which are awesome sights. It has a Holosun, right, which has a shake-awake technology so that it always just is on whenever I pick the gun up, which is extremely important to me for a serious use system like this, okay? I'm running a Streamlight HLX, I believe is what it is. Yeah, HLX. A lot of lumens coming out of this thing with a pressure pad on the side. And then I'm running this sucker suppressed. I also run 165 grain Hush as my ammo currently. That probably will change here before too long, but currently that's what I'm running. My ideology behind that, I might do a whole video on that if you want to know. If you do want to know my ideology behind all that, hit me up and ask me, and then I'll probably do a video about it if there's enough interest. So whenever I saw a couple things came up, I saw a long day ago, Mac, Military Arms Channel, he had a CZ Scorpion, not really, well, kind of similar to this in a way, it was a CZ Scorpion, but he had a Omega 9K on the end of his, but he had it in a carbine length rail, a factory carbine length rail, and it basically came right to the end, right? So it was almost like an integrally suppressed CZ Scorpion. Super cool, looked really, really awesome and all that. At the time, I thought that was cool, but I never thought about actually trying to do this. Well, lately I got serious about looking into that because with the way that this gun is set up, a lot of people like how short it is, right? How maneuverable it is, and I agree, but there's a caveat there. This thing is 99% of the time, whatever, suppressed, right? Sitting by the bed, this thing is suppressed. Whenever I go shoot this gun, it's suppressed. And if it's not suppressed, it's because I took the suppressor off to use on another pistol caliber carbine or something, because this suppressor, which I'm gonna do a video on this one, it fails at almost everything. It doesn't fail, it just doesn't do very well on anything except for 9mm. But it's so heavy, it has to be on, almost has to be on a pistol caliber carbine kind of thing. It can't be on like I have a booster that kind of works with it, but it's really, it's interesting. It's interesting. I have a video on that. You can check that stuff out if you really want to. But this thing works very well for 9mm on like a PCC kind of deal. The thing is it's long, right? And so even though, yes, the overall length of the firearm itself is short and compact and nice and everything, I'm gonna have this length on here. This is kind of a permanent situation for me. Like, it's set up like this, and this is how it kind of stays. I don't see any near future stuff changing. I might run another suppressor on here if I ever get my stuff out of jail, but even then I could run it under the guard on here. So that was my ideology, and then I thought, well, I'm gonna look into this whole carbine length rail thing, and I hit up the forums on AR15.com. Awesome place. Their equipment exchange, that's the bee's knees. Craigslist. Arms List has nothing on them because you can't vet people on Arms List. You get a bajillion scammers over there. But on AR15.com, you got to go through some hoops and hurdles to get into it, and then people can actually evaluate you in a way, right? They can say, yeah, this guy is horrible, don't ever buy from him. Or, yeah, shipping's great, payment's great, buy from him, sell or sell to him, and all that kind of stuff. So I found one of these about 40 or 50 bucks below the price that you could get online, except that they're all sold out online. That was a thing. I looked online at first, then I looked there. So we got a really good deal on the rail. And I'm glad I looked it up. You need a tool, basically, to take off this little collar thing, whatever, the locking block deal. I'm forgetting my terms. I'm super excited and I'm jacked up on this purple stuff. But I was able to get this tool for cheaper on AR15.com. It's really good stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna put this thing together. We're gonna check this thing out. This is gonna be super cool. It does fit over the suppressor. So super cool. So we're gonna put this thing together and we'll show you what it looks like at the end. Here we go. Holy crap, that is a lot of Loctite. Matt, I think you had something to do with putting this thing together. Anyway, dang. All right, finally got that thing. All right, guys, there you go. That's pretty much it. I know this was probably a very hastily put together video, and it didn't overall encompass everything about installing this rail and all that, because that's not really what this is about. This is an overall evolution of this gun, right? And I really like it. I like it a whole lot. As you can see, the suppressor starts right back here, okay? So we cover up a lot of that, which gives my hand a lot more places to grab onto on the gun than previously before. And it gives me a much longer sight radius for irons, even though I don't really use those, I use the optic. Something I noticed is the only place I have right now, because I'm out of M-LOK slots, the only place I have right now to mount the pressure pad for the light is on top of the rail, which is my ideal spot because it makes it ambi, right? So you can use either hand, it's fine. Problem is that covers up the front sight. So if I'm looking through, I know you won't really be able to tell, but if you're looking through the sight, this button, right, it obscures the front sight post. It's that low. The sights are that low and that button is so high, which is really not that high. It's pretty low anyway. And the optic itself, if I'm running it and I put my thumb on the button, the optic is too low. So I can either do a couple different things. I can raise the optic, not really worry about the iron, just I'm not really worried about, but I could raise the optic, or I could move this pressure pad to a different spot, which I'll probably play around with that later because, like I said, I'm out of M-LOK slots. So I would like to mount some kind of a hand stop, even the one that came on here, except that's a Picatinny mount. So I don't know, I don't want to add a M-LOK or add a Picatinny and then add a stop. I'd probably just get an M-LOK hand stop. But the way that this thing is made, as you can see, it's got these grooves, designs. Your hand just naturally holds that way better. But anyway, and one thing I noticed before, I don't know if I actually showed this, should have made sure I took better pictures of it, but whenever you use this light now, it's far enough out here where the suppressor is, as you can see. If any of you know anything about shadow, right? I don't know if there's a term for it. I almost said scope shadow, that's a different thing. But suppressor shadow or whatever with your light. It's ideal to run your light forward of anything on your gun so that you have no shadow, right? Because if you turn this thing on, see how it lights up the side of the suppressor? Well, that light is supposed to be going somewhere, so it makes a shadow somewhere. Before, it was pretty drastic. When you turned the light on, you saw this big old dark beam coming out, right? On the left-hand side or wherever you're pointing the gun. Well, that's not really a good thing because it obscures stuff and different things, and that light on the suppressor kind of illuminates where you're at, if that makes any sense. This is now able to mount a little bit forward, and I could potentially get it up to about right here, right? On the mount system it is, I could just move this Picatinny slot one slot up, and that would put the light very close to the end, which I might play around and do with later. But anyway, that's stuff for a different time. Right now, I'm just very excited about this. I know some people are like, well, that's pretty dumb. Pretty stupid. You took your AR pistol and turned it into the length of a full-size AR pistol, CZ pistol, and turned it into a full-size CZ carbine. Kind of, except that this is how it was running anyway. I didn't add any length. All I did was give myself more hand placement and more places for different things. That's all I did. The gun's the same. It's running the same. So anyway, I can't wait to get out and shoot this thing, make sure everything's good to go, and I can't wait. I've got a couple different suppressor things hopefully coming in. This will probably be the end-all, just permanently attached, for lack of better terms, and it'll probably shorten it a little bit more. So if I shorten this a little bit more and scooted this guy a little bit up, we might actually get light in front of the suppressor kind of action. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Stay tuned for more from this guy, and that's pretty much it. Y'all be good to be safe. We'll catch you on the next video.